The moment the TSA alarm started blaring at Denver International Airport's security checkpoint, I knew my son's plan had backfired. Perfectly. Red lights flashing, security officers rushing forward, the look of pure panic on Michael's face as they approached his carry-on bag. But before I tell you how a 65-year-old retired customs officer turned his own son's trap against him, let me know in the comments, have you ever caught someone plotting against you? My name is James Miller. For 30 years, I worked as a senior Customs and Border Protection officer, specializing in detecting deception and understanding human behavior. My office was at Terminal B, where I supervised thousands of screenings, interviewed countless passengers, and learned every security protocol in the book. But now, at 65, I lived alone in the mountain house Martha and I bought 20 years ago. Martha, my wife of 42 years, cancer took her last winter. The house felt empty after that. 5 bedrooms, 3 acres of land, worth $2.3 million in today's market. Not that I'd ever sell it. Martha designed every room. Then Michael's gambling debts started mounting. $50,000 to underground poker rooms, $75,000 to offshore betting sites. He started visiting more often, always asking about the house value, about my savings, about power of attorney. "Dad, you're getting forgetful," he'd say, watching me organize my travel documents. "Maybe I should handle your finances." I recognized the signs, the subtle body language, the micro-expressions, things you learn from 3 decades of interviewing smugglers. The way his left eye twitched when lying, how he touched his neck when nervous. Basic tells I'd taught hundreds of rookie officers to spot. Then came the overseas trip invitation. "Dad, you should visit Uncle Steve in London," he insisted. "I'll help you pack." I watched through my hidden cameras as he slipped something into my checked luggage at 2:17 a.m. The same techniques I'd seen smugglers use thousands of times. But Michael forgot something important. He didn't know that I still maintained my airport contacts, that my old team still respected my expertise, that every security camera and checkpoint officer knew exactly what to watch for. As we approached the TSA checkpoint that morning, I made my move. A simple distraction, a practiced movement, the same techniques I'd studied for 30 years. Michael never saw me switch our bags, never noticed the subtle weight change, too busy checking his phone, confirming his flight to Mexico that he'd booked for right after my departure. The X-ray machine beeped, the officers moved in, and my son learned why you don't try to outsmart a retired customs officer who wrote half the security protocols he was trying to abuse. The signs of Michael's betrayal started appearing 3 months after Martha's funeral. Small changes in his behavior that only a trained customs officer would notice. The way he'd arrive unannounced at odd hours, always asking about my travel documents, my bank accounts, my safety deposit box codes. 27 years of experience interviewing thousands of smugglers had taught me to spot the patterns, the nervous finger tapping, the avoiding direct eye contact, the subtle shift in body position when lying. I started documenting everything, just like I'd done for 3 decades at the airport. Times, dates, behavioral indicators. At first, the visit seemed innocent. "Just checking on you, Dad," he'd say. But his left eye would twitch, a telltale sign of deception I'd documented in over 3,000 customs interviews. Then came the financial questions. "The house must be worth, what, $2.3 million now? Your retirement accounts must be substantial after 30 years of service?" Each question carefully crafted, each response carefully watched. I installed hidden cameras throughout the house, standard customs-grade equipment, the same systems we used for surveillance at the airport. The footage revealed everything. Michael searching my office at 3:17 a.m., photographing my bank statements, copying my passport, making calls to suspicious numbers. "Yes, he's traveling next week," he'd whisper. "Everything's arranged." My security system caught him testing different scenarios, practicing moves, rehearsing stories, just like the smugglers I'd caught for 3 decades. The bank alerted me to unusual inquiries about my accounts,
power of attorney requests, property transfer questions, all the red flags I'd trained junior officers to watch for. Then I discovered the travel bookings. A one-way ticket to London for me, a same-day flight to Mexico for him, non-extradition country. Classic runner's pattern. The hidden cameras caught him making late-night visits to my garage, testing bag weights, practicing movements. I recognized every technique, had stopped the same methods countless times at customs. When he suggested helping me pack for London, I knew the trap was set. The cameras recorded him at 2:17 a.m. slipping something into my checked luggage, the same hollow book method I documented in hundreds of cases. But Michael had forgotten something crucial, something every rookie smuggler learns too late. In 30 years of customs work, I'd developed a photographic memory for weights and balances, could detect a quarter-ounce difference blindfolded. His addition to my bag changed the weight by exactly 2.2 pounds, a number that triggered every warning signal in my trained mind, the same weight as thousands of similar cases I'd handled. I made a single phone call to my old TSA team. Protocol 47B, I said, the code we used for internal investigations. Everything was in place, every camera positioned, every officer briefed. Now it was just a matter of timing. And timing was something I'd perfected over 30 years of customs work.
The investigation required the same methodical precision I'd used for 30 years at customs. Every detail documented, every movement tracked. My home security system, upgraded with professional-grade cameras, recorded Michael's activities 24/7. The same Axis P3265V cameras we used at airport security checkpoints, capturing every angle in 4K resolution. At exactly 11:47 p.m. each night, he'd check if I was sleeping. The thermal sensors showing his heat signature moving through the house, testing entry points, practicing routes. I logged everything in my investigation notebook, just like I'd done for 3 decades. Times, dates, behavioral patterns. The evidence mounted systematically. Bank records showed Michael had lost $347,000 gambling in 6 months, credit card debt reaching $89,000, 3 mortgage payments behind on his house. Desperate people make predictable moves. That's the first rule of customs work. I contacted my old partner at TSA, Thomas Rodriguez, still working Terminal B after 25 years. Something's coming through next week, I told him. Need Protocol 47B in place. The code activated our entire security network. Every camera, every checkpoint, every officer prepared. The airport security grid mapped out like a chessboard. I knew every blind spot, every camera angle, every procedure. Had written half the protocols myself. The preparation phase moved with precision. My security cameras caught Michael testing bag weights at 2:17 a.m. The hollow book method, classic smuggler technique. I'd seen it 1,273 times in my career. Always the same weight, always the same mistakes. The TSA team positioned their resources exactly as we'd planned. X-ray operators briefed, K9 units stationed, every checkpoint covered. I prepared my own equipment, the same tools I'd used for decades. Weight sensors, measurement devices, recording equipment, everything calibrated to perfection. Michael's plan was simple. Get me arrested at London Customs, use the power of attorney papers while I was detained, sell the house, transfer the money, disappear to Mexico. But he didn't know about the silent alarms I'd installed, the GPS trackers in my bags, the weight sensors that recorded his 2:17 a.m. edition. Didn't realize every security camera in Denver International Airport was watching, every TSA agent ready, every escape route covered. The morning of the flight, I packed exactly as expected. Let him help check the bags. Watched him calculate flight times. His Mexico departure, my London arrival. The timing had to be perfect, just like every customs operation I'd ever run. The TSA checkpoint would be our moment, the X-ray belt our stage, and 30 years of experience would teach my son why you don't try to frame a retired customs officer. The security cameras recorded everything. Every movement, every nervous tick, every calculated step. I could read his body language like a book, the same patterns I'd seen in thousands of smugglers. The slight sweat, the darting eyes, the unconscious throat touching, classic signs of someone carrying contraband. But this time, the contraband would be in his bag, not mine. The switch would happen in the check-in line, a simple movement, a practiced distraction, the same techniques I'd studied for decades. The weight difference would be imperceptible unless you'd spent 30 years detecting exactly such changes. Everything was in place, every officer positioned, every camera rolling, every escape route blocked. The trap was set, and my son was about to learn why experience matters more than desperation.
The morning of our flights dawned clear and cold at Denver International Airport. Terminal B's security cameras tracked our arrival at exactly 7:15 a.m. My old team watching every monitor, every movement. The check-in line stretched exactly 47 people long, perfect for what needed to happen. Michael stood behind me, checking his phone, confirming his Mexico flight. His carry-on laptop bag hanging loosely from his right shoulder, just as I'd predicted. 30 years of observing human behavior made some things inevitable. The security cameras caught everything in 4K resolution, my practiced movements, the precise timing. At 7:23 a.m., I implemented the switch, a simple bump from a passing traveler, Officer Rodriguez in plainclothes, a moment of confusion, the bags touching ground briefly. Standard procedure we'd used hundreds of times in customs operations. Michael never noticed, too busy texting his contacts, confirming his escape plan. The weight difference was exactly 2.2 pounds, but only someone with decades of experience would feel it. We approached the TSA checkpoint at 7:45 a.m., every officer in position, every camera recording. The X-ray belt moved at its standard 0.2 meters per second. Michael placed his laptop bag on the conveyor, confident, unaware. The first X-ray image appeared on Officer Chen's screen, the same hollow book signature I'd documented thousands of times. The TSA alarm activated at precisely 7:47 a.m. Red lights, sirens, security teams converging. Michael's face transformed from confidence to confusion to absolute terror in exactly 2.3 seconds, a reaction I'd seen countless times in my career. "Step away from the bag, sir," Officer Rodriguez commanded. 4 TSA agents approached, 2 K9 units circled, every exit blocked, the airport security protocol executing perfectly, just as I'd written it 15 years ago. Michael tried to run. They always do. Made it exactly 27 feet before tactical team members stopped him. Standard airport security takedown. Professional, efficient. By 7:52 a.m. he was in custody, crying, confessing, revealing his entire plan. The Mexico escape route, the power of attorney papers, the house sale arrangements, everything recorded on airport security cameras, everything witnessed by hundreds of travelers, everything documented exactly as I'd trained teams to do for 3 decades. I stood quietly watching. The retired customs officer, the father who just taught his son the most expensive lesson of his life. "Dad," he called out as they led him away, "how did you know?" I just smiled. 30 years of experience spoke louder than words. The TSA team nodded respectfully as they passed. My old colleagues, still executing the protocols I'd helped create, still protecting travelers, still catching those who thought they could beat the system. The next 48 hours unfolded exactly as 30 years of customs experience had taught me to expect. The police investigation revealed everything. Michael's gambling debts totaling $347,000, the planned house sale for $2.3 million, the fake power of attorney documents, the Mexico escape plan. Every detail recorded in perfect high definition on airport security cameras. The district attorney's office moved quickly.
"This is one of the most well-documented cases we've seen," the prosecutor said, reviewing my evidence logs. The same format I'd used for 3 decades of customs cases. The preliminary hearing lasted exactly 2 hours and 17 minutes. Michael sat in his orange jumpsuit, avoiding my eyes, just like thousands of smugglers I'd interviewed before. The evidence was overwhelming. Security camera footage showing him planting the contraband at 2:17 a.m. Bank records revealing hidden accounts in Mexico. Phone transcripts with underground gambling operators. Travel documents showing his escape route. All presented with the same precision I'd used in court hundreds of times. The judge's decision was swift and severe. Attempted trafficking, conspiracy to commit fraud, attempted theft by deception, and, most disturbing, the planned betrayal of your own father. Michael got 7 years in federal prison. No chance of early release. His Mexico contacts were arrested, the gambling operators exposed, his entire network dismantled. Just like the smuggling rings I'd broken up throughout my career. The airport security team received commendations for their flawless execution. My old protocols had worked perfectly, just as they had for 15 years. The house feels different now, quieter, but peaceful. The security cameras still record everything, force of habit from 30 years of service. I converted Michael's old room into a home office, set up monitors showing every angle of the property, started consulting for airport security firms, teaching new officers the signs I'd learned to recognize. Martha would have been heartbroken about Michael, but proud of how I protected our home, her garden, her memories. She always said my attention to detail would keep us safe. The support group for families of incarcerated relatives helps me understand and heal. We meet every Wednesday at 7 p.m., share stories, help each other cope. Your experience gives us hope, they tell me. Your strength shows us how to move forward. The airport still calls regularly. Consulting work, training new officers, teaching them what 30 years of experience looks like in real situations. Michael writes letters from prison every month, asking for forgiveness, promising to change. But some lessons need time to sink in. Some trusts, once broken, need years to rebuild. Every morning, I still check my security cameras, review the footage, monitor the sensors. Old habits from a lifetime of protecting others. I visit him sometimes, watch him through the prison glass, see the lessons slowly changing him. Maybe someday, after the 7 years, after real change, after true understanding, maybe then we can start rebuilding. But for now, I focus on helping others, teaching young officers, protecting those who need it. Because in the end, it wasn't about revenge. It wasn't even about justice. It was about using a lifetime of experience to protect what matters. About teaching one final lesson from 30 years of service. About showing that sometimes the most important security system is the wisdom to see betrayal before it happens.